And we're back with Mohsen Bashir, Vice President of Investments at Stone Asset Management. There is a lot of talk these days about passive investment, which has been a trend that has really been I guess, the dominant philosophy. A lot of people think since the financial crisis, and active management. A lot of people are saying now that because of higher growth potential around many economies, that we may be transitioning to a time where active management is likely to deliver higher returns. How do we understand the choice between those two strategies in the context of risk management?
Well, if we think about it in terms of what our industry has gone through, it's really a pendulum swing, Paul, where all you've had in the past has been a very limited number of options, and now the pendulum has moved all the way to the other side, and there's this barrage of passive management opportunities that are available, and that's been the dominating force for several years now. But I believe that we are at this juncture in time where active management can outperform passive management, because now you're getting to a stage where selection is important, where sector-specific emphasis becomes more and more important. And passive management might not necessarily give you or capture the same benefits of active management in terms of being able to give you a margin of safety, looking at the context of business risk for a company, or financial risk on how that balance sheet looks, or price risk on what your entry and exit points are.
You are an active manager, of course, and so are all the other people who I've spoken to who have taken this approach. Why are we getting to a point now where active management may outperform passive index tracking?
Well, if we listen to any of the morning reports, you're starting to see the word uncertainty show up more and more prevalent in everybody's articles and everybody's conversation. And in that situation, when you add more risks onto the overall market, then that means you have to have better risk management parameters put in place. And therefore, biases notwithstanding, I believe active management is the appropriate strategy, and you want to be able to have tilts in your portfolio towards the sectors that either can withstand the pain or can take advantage and take market leadership from the environment.
And what kind of tilts do you have in your portfolio that are doing that for clients?
Well, one of the tilts that we have, and we talked about this earlier in the show, was having an emphasis on the U.S. economy. Personally, I think that the U.S. economy is in a little bit of a stronger scenario relative to the Canadian economy. The U.S. consumer is more disciplined with regards to their debt management than the Canadian average consumer. The other tilt that I would have is moving a little bit more cyclical inside the portfolio. So moving to areas like base metals, or companies that asset management businesses that are snapping up infrastructure assets. These are areas where I believe that the portfolio can have adequate weight and adequate advantage in being able to benefit from.
And what sectors are you avoiding or downplaying or reducing your weighting in with a view to managing risk?
Well, one of the areas that I think that we have reduced weight considerably is everything that looks, smells, and feels like a bond. So most of those really high dividend-paying companies that are wonderful companies, but at this stage in the cycle don't necessarily bode well to be able to outperform the more cyclical names.
That's Mohsen Bashir from Stone Asset Management. Up next.